Darlene, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for being here.
Nice to see you.
So you started singing with the Blossoms, right?
Right.
How old were you?
16.
When you first heard your voice on a record with the Blossoms, what did that feel like?
It was just very weird. It's like out of body. You know, that's the way I sound. Because you really don't know how you sound until you hear your voice recorded.
Did you love it?
Yes. I thought it was great. Boy, I really sound good.
When you, it was late 50s, early 60s, right? With the Blossoms.
Right, late 50s.
Were there any black background singers in those days?
There was none, and it's amazing now. We didn't really realize that until many, many years later, when we couldn't handle all the work. Producers like to, if they have a sound that they like and they know they could use it, then they want to keep using you. And we could not do all the work, so we only knew black singers, so we gave it to them.
And Phil Spector, one of those producers, a legendary producer, now in a little bit of trouble, obviously, he didn't want anybody to know you were black. Is that true? That's what I've read.
It's very true. He never took pictures of us. We were never on any albums. They really didn't have a lot of albums in the 60s. Except for the Nat King Cole and those people, but as rock and roll singers, we didn't do albums with our pictures on them. So he didn't tell anybody. They didn't ask. He didn't tell them.
You know, one of my favorite songs when I was a kid, and virtually everybody could say the same thing, is He's a Rebel. Now, I've heard you say in interviews, I've never had a #1 single.
Right.
But in fact, you have had a #1 single. You just weren't credited with a #1 single. So the Blossoms sing He's a Rebel, written by Gene Pitney. Mm-hmm. The credit is given to the Crystals, who did not sing the song.
Right.
#1 on the charts. That was okay with you too?
That was okay with me because then I said to myself, this man knows how to make hit records.
Meaning Spector.
Phil Spector. And then he asked us to sign, so it was okay. It wasn't really weird because I went into that session knowing that song was going to be for the Crystals.
But wait a second.
It wasn't a shock.
Everybody in America is, I could sing it now, I won't. Everybody's singing the song everywhere in America. You know that they're singing along with you and they don't know it and it doesn't bother you?
Today they do know though.
That's a very good point.
Now,
you have a longer view than I do.
40 years ago they didn't know.
Why'd you leave the music business when you did?
Problems, marital. I had children and it was just too much going on at one time. I lost my father. And I just loved my father. And, you know, if he wasn't there to be my burden bearer, then what? You know, and then I figured, let me just stay at home and go back to doing sessions again. What happened, once you leave, somebody else takes your place. And we had got a lot of other black great singers to do background, and they wasn't giving it up.
But you decided, despite the fact they weren't giving up, this is like a legendary story. I know you've told it 1,000 times.
Right.
You're cleaning a mansion or something in
Cleaning
Beverly
a
Hills.
mansion in
How much money are you making?
$50 a day.
$50, which you thought was okay?
Yeah.
And what happened while you're cleaning that mansion?
It was amazing because I love telling this story because it's unlike any other story. I was cleaning the bathroom. And you know, the bathroom in people's houses is usually the worst place to clean.
I'm aware of that, yes. I know that.
Especially if you have boys.
Okay.
And
We know that too, okay.
Anyway, the song came on. I heard it.
Christmas, Baby, Please Come Home.
Christmas, Baby, Please Come Home. Down the hall. It took me a minute, like, you know, you stop. Yeah, that's my song. I knew right then, right at that moment, that I was supposed to be back out singing.
You're a big-time person of faith. Is that what it was? Was
yeah.
Was God talking to you, or what?
It was my faith in God that I believe that everything that happens to me, whether it's good or bad, it was supposed to happen. I don't look at it as bad. I look at it as supposed to happen to keep you not just humble, but keep you in the right mind. Like, hey, you ain't all that.
Were you a different person when you came back as a performer, or were you not?
No, because I had never performed as a solo artist. Yeah. So it made me see all the work that I really had to do. Most of producers who produce live shows want to know that you have a hit record so people will come out and see you. It was hard for me to explain that was me on He's a Rebel and He's Sure the Boy I Love, which both of those records, one was a top 10 and the other one was a #1 record. They heard the voice and they know, but I never went out saying, I'm a Crystal, that's my record. People found that out on their own.
Can you tell, most people know a lot of these names, give us a sampling of some of the names of these huge stars with whom you sang through all these years?
Well, I always loved to say Elvis Presley because we really did bind because of gospel. He loved gospel, and so did we, meaning the Blossoms.
He wanted to bond with you a little bit more than just that way. Is that correct?
He had ideas in his head, he thought.
How'd that go?
That left us like, you never thought about it, I ain't doing it.
What did he say to you?
He said that he never thought about having a relationship with a black woman before. And I said, well, you ain't gonna have one with this one.
So give me some more of the huge
Well,
players.
Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., and then Luther Vandross, Aretha Franklin, Dionne Warwick, the Beach Boys. Oh gosh, okay, here we go. Sam Cooke. And all these people were current of the day. And I tell people all the time, we did more sessions with people that didn't have hits than we did with the stars.
And you were good where you were. I mean, you were good being, as we learned from the film, 20 feet from stardom. You were good and happy where you were.
Yes, and I tell the story because we were having such a good time, and honey, were we making money. But nobody being bothered with the way you looked, the way you dressed.
What kind of money are we talking about?
We're talking about $3,000 a week.
Oh, that was real
Back
money.
in the 60s?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
In the 60s?
In the 60s, yeah. I went out on the road with Nancy Sinatra for a year and a half. We were making almost $5,000 a week.
Really?
And nothing coming out of it. You know, we didn't have to buy no music. They paid for your airfare, the hotel. That was clear money. And we declared it at the end of the year, but still in the 60s and the 70s, that was a lot of money. There's a lot of backup singers today that's not making that kind of money.
When you moved to the front of the stage, when you traveled those 20 feet, Bruce Springsteen, I think, or Sting, or somebody says in 20 feet from stardom, it's a long, long walk. Were you the same person when you went to the front of the stage as you were when you were singing backup, or do you change?
No, very much so. And it's
very much so the same?
The same, because it's for your good. Because I respect the business, the singing business that we are in. And I think if you don't respect it, it will hurt you. It hurts you when you do, but it will hurt you if you don't respect it. And I tried to keep that Darlene Love, who was singing backup, when I went that 20 feet up in the front. Because you want the audience to know that.
Yeah. You know, 20 feet from stardom, which is where I think a lot of people saw your face and attached the voice. Obviously, you won an Academy Award a couple years before. You're inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which obviously is long overdue, but it happened. The thing that came through from 20 feet from stardom to me, and I've only seen it about 30 times, I mean, literally, I should say, is the strength of the bond. Lisa Fisher was here a few weeks ago, just a spectacular singer and person. The bond is pretty intense between those of you who are background singers, no?
You know what the bond is? We don't say it, but we great. And people only want to use the best people who sing background. We don't elude that, we don't say, hey, I know I'm great, but our bond, that's what our bond is. Baby, people use us because we are the best in the business.
I had a lot more questions, but how do you not end there? It's so great, Darlene Love. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.